Hi, Edwin Almeida from Oz Real Estate TV. Recent events have led us to add to a report that we were putting together for you regarding why we believe that overseas investors are being duped. And this is centered all around construction due to the rainfall that Parramatta has experienced and the low level standard of construction that we are now facing in and around Parramatta. Hi, Edwin Almeida from Oz Real Estate TV, bringing you property news throughout Sydney's high-rise construction and development. How are overseas investors being duped? Well, as I said before, there's going to be quite a number of developments that are going to hit the ground. Our property management teams throughout Sydney are finding it harder and harder to find tenants. Properties are going higher and higher in value, yet the rental yields are not there to sustain the investment. Forget what you've heard about the gross amount of undersupply. Forget even the stories that you've been told about the great demand or to cater for the increase in population that we're experiencing. I don't believe there's an undersupply. In my books, I count that there's going to be an oversupply, particularly in the next quarter. The property management team are already experiencing in and around Parramatta and other parts of Sydney that the rental yields are going down. Prices may increase, but rental yields are continuously going down due to the vacancy factor. We are going to see an increase of anywhere between 30 to 50% vacancies throughout Sydney, let alone Parramatta. On other occasions, I've written about the issues with the development standards in Sydney, particularly in this case where developments are being built along Parramatta River. Let's consider what just happened a few days ago. Parramatta River ran its banks, and you have developments along the banks of Parramatta River that are going to have basement car parking areas that are going to sit up to 20 metres below the water level of the river. It is an issue of concern when the standard that these developments are being built under are compliant but are not keeping up with the growth or the mass of construction that these towers take up, and also the volume and the mass of people living in these towers. Other than what we brought to you in the past in relation to the exorbitant prices that investors are paying, particularly overseas investors are paying for these properties in tune of $13,000 per square metre, equivalent to about $700,000 to $800,000 for a two-bedroom apartment, where the rental incomes are only going to reach around the mid-500s, 550 per week. Do the maths and you will see for yourself that these investments just don't add up. My tip is for you to sit firm, hold on to your money, wait until all these developments that are being built throughout Parramatta, particularly along the shores of Parramatta River, to be completed, and you will see that the market is not sustainable and prices will drop anywhere between 20 and 30%. Since January, there's been an increase of almost 30%. We're going to see another 30 to 50% increase in percentage vacancies throughout Sydney, particularly in Parramatta. Again, in our report along the foreshores of Parramatta River, we've brought to you our reasons as to why we believe that overseas investors are being duped. There's an oversupply, the rent yields are going down, costs to maintain these developments are going to go up throughout the years, and adding to that is the current and recent events of the sinkholes emerging in and around Parramatta, and I dare say we're going to experience this throughout Sydney as well. Let's go back to the original introduction, which was all about the construction standards. We are now going 3 times as deep into the ground to sustain and provide adequate parking facilities for these developments that are also 3 times as high. There are environmental pressures. We are now coping with huge amounts of rain. Developments are going to have to cope with water seepage into the lower basement areas. The pressure of the foundation of the adjoining buildings are going to be tested as these constructions go higher and higher. All these come down to the bottom line, the fact that the investors are going to be paying short term and long term. But the old saying goes, the higher you build, the harder the fall. Edwin Almeida from Oz Real Estate TV.